You are listening to Thrival Nutrition Podcast, episode 76. Welcome to the Thrival Nutrition Podcast with me as your host, Lahana Vigliano. We talk all things holistic living, real food nutrition, fitness, herbs, essential oils, and so much more. I'm here to make your holistic lifestyle simple, easy, and fun for you and your family. I am beyond thrilled that you are here. So let's go over and hop over to today's episode. Happy Tuesday! So it is August, and I told the moms and the parents that this month we're going to be focusing on a little bit of back to school. If you haven't checked out the blog this past week, I wrote all about school lunches, because obviously that's a huge part in, creating healthy kids. And unfortunately, the school lunches that you get at school are not that great. Even though they quote unquote try, it sucks, to be honest. It's not nutritious at all. So packing your lunch is honestly the way to go if you're really trying to get in control and really fuel your kids with good, nourishing foods. So this past week, I wrote a blog about lunch boxes, and I compared a lot of the popular lunch boxes that are called like bento boxes. And it's just where a lunch box, instead of using plastic baggies for everything, it's kind of sectioned off and set up into like little sections. So you put, some fruit in one, some veggies in one, some protein in one. They are actually a lot of fun to pack with, to be honest. I love using them. We used them all last year, and we loved it. And we got the Planet Box, and I get a lot of questions like, what lunch box do you use? Like on Instagram when I post school lunch ideas, and I'm like, Planet Box. But I'm glad that you guys are asking, because a lot of people don't know about how cool these lunch boxes are. So I wrote a blog comparing Planet Box and Lunchbots, which are both stainless steel. And then I also have some, BPA-free plastic ones, but I have problems with the term BPA-free because there's usually always something that they use instead of BPA that could be just as bad. So I like to personally stick with plastic-free stuff when I can, if I can. Now, I'm not perfect, but obviously the lunchbox I use every single day throughout the school year. So I decided to invest in one, and I love it. It's definitely one of the best investments that we've done. And so I just kind of wrote a blog about it and kind of went through my Instagram and took pictures. I take them throughout the school year. So I took the pictures and I put them in a blog for you to help inspire you for new meals for your kiddos. And I look back, I'm like, this kid doesn't even know how good he eats. Like, this is just his normal. But I remember when I went to school, it's just normal PBJ, I don't know, the classic, kid foods, Lunchables, things like that. And ultimately, my goal is to create healthy kids, creating a healthy next generation. So I was like, this is perfect. I know a lot of moms that, are sick of packing the same thing. And they also are like me, and they have goals to create healthy kids. So I think that blog will help a lot of moms kind of step out of the normal lunch packing and inspire them to do some different good foods for their kids. So, but I promise it's not hard. When I look back at those lunches, I'm like, that must have taken me forever. But actually, it really doesn't. A lot of them was leftovers, and that makes things super easy. And I'm really, really blessed to have kids that aren't really picky about textures or about the temperature of foods. So that really helps, but it really isn't as hard as I guess it looks. So hopefully it will not look as intimidating. So a couple of announcements before we get started and helping your kids' immune system for the school year. We have some really awesome things that are now available, which is our picky eating class. We are so excited about that. It is me and my son, and we are I'm teaching the moms just tips on, focusing, transitioning from junk foods to real good, wholesome foods. And then my son is actually teaching the kids. I helped him a little bit, but he's teaching the kids on why healthy eating is important. And so we kind of take like the idea of kids watching YouTube. Kids learn from kids. They pick things up from kids. And so I was like thinking, well, if kids don't want to listen to an adult and they don't like listening to their parents, why can't they just be taught from a kid about, healthy eating? So my son took his Minecraft figurines. He kind of made like a YouTube-like video. I actually narrated it, and I look back at it and I'm like, oh gosh, kind of embarrassing, but it's fine. I enjoyed doing it with him. It was a fun little activity together. But we took his Minecraft figures and kind of role played of explaining why eating healthy is important. My son showed some really awesome recipes that he makes. He also tells the kids, how to make foods good. So he kind of tells them like, okay, I use, this grass-fed cheese with this Applegate pepperoni. I love when my mom roasts my broccoli and like bacon fat or whatever it is. So he like kind of tells how he likes foods and how he makes them just less scary. And so it's really cool to see that. Honestly, it's cool for me as a mom just to see him like get in front of the camera and do this. It's a really big deal. I did tell him that I am going to pay him for every class that sells. So you are supporting a little mini entrepreneur when you purchase this class too. And it's not expensive. It's not much. It's only $10, but we like to keep it short and sweet because we know you guys are super busy. So it's only $10 and you can definitely get through it within a couple hours. Your kids have a module, you have a module, and then you guys can get in the kitchen cooking real wholesome foods. So I will make sure that link is in the show notes so you can go check that out. And then you can also go to my website, thrivalnutrition.com, and go check out the tab where it says shop and then the e-courses. It's under there. But it was really fun working that with him. So that is a super exciting announcement. He was really excited when I was like, buddy, it's all done. I edited all the videos. It's going to go live. And he's like, no way. He's like, how many people are going to be watching me? I'm like, just not many. Because like when he was about to film, he was just like kind of nervous. He's like, I don't know how many people are going to be watching me. I'm like, buddy, barely any. Like, that's okay. But he loved making it. So that was the first announcement. The second announcement is the one-on-one clients that I am doing a digestive health special for. So if you are, dealing with certain problems of your digestive system, and it could be something very simple like having a lot of gas or bloating after meals, or something more serious of having a diagnosis of having IBS or Crohn's or, different digestive disturbances, we have a special offer going on for our podcast listeners and our email list. A lot of you are on both, which is awesome. So you can use the code DIGEST and the link in the show notes of where you can go book your first appointment with me. It's originally $125, but it's only $45 for 60 minutes with me. It's a really, really awesome deal. And so you're going to come out of that consultation just understanding and knowing the path that we're going to take, how we're going to achieve your goals. And it's just, I can't even tell you like how inspiring my clients are. Seriously, like I think I'm just really blessed with really awesome clients, to be honest. They just listen so diligently and they put to work, and they're so easy to guide. And so one of my clients lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. One of my clients lost 8 pounds in a week. And another one, I think it's been like 4 weeks, and she's lost 30. So just huge things that, progress that is just so amazing to me, because I just think it's sometimes really easy to look like from the outside and it looks intimidating, and this healthy living thing is really hard, but it's so inspiring to see people that, start from, eating not so good, not understanding anything, to me guiding them, and then they are just making like the best healthy life they can. It's awesome. So I want you to join me, and you can go check that link where you can book your first initial consultation with me for only $45. Now, you don't have to have a digestive upset. I promise you can still use that code and get that if you just want to lose weight, or just even improve your general health of just being healthier and having a healthier family. Go ahead and use that code to get that savings, and I can still help you out. Remember, I know there's a lot of information that's given into a podcast. You can always just click the show notes and all the stuff will be right there. You can always email me too if you need to at lahana@thrivalnutrition.com. You can go ahead and do that too if you need to recap, or you don't understand something, or you just have more questions for me. Okay, so today I said we were going to be talking about back to school immune system and really supporting your child's body with real food, which I'll talk about the lunch boxes, go a little bit more in depth than that. but mostly different supplements to have on hand. Now, I'm a huge fan of just having a real wholesome food diet and getting a lot of the vitamins and minerals and carbs and proteins and fats and all that stuff in real food and what we eat. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. But I think supplements can really help because a lot of kids still have gaps, whether that they are picky eaters or, it could be anything. So I love supplements and we use them. So a lot of people ask me like, well, what if you eat really good? Like, do you need supplements? Sometimes you do. And some of the supplements that I'm going to be talking about isn't just like a daily supplement to get vitamins. It's to help boost your immune system if you've been around someone sick or, there's quite a few kids in the class that are sick. I always love to up the dosage of these supplements for my family. So I know it's a super bittersweet time as our kids go back to school. I really love having my kids home. One, because I kind of have control of their environment. So if someone's like sick, one of our friends, we're not hanging out with them in school. They're kind of in the class. They have to go to school. You shouldn't miss school. So it's sometimes a little bit harder to control the environment. But ultimately, it's just spending more time with them. And I don't know if this is pretty selfish, but I love not having to wake up early and having to pack lunches and just getting all busy and in the mindset of like, did you do your homework? And it's just really nice. Summertime is awesome. But I am ready for school to start to get some alone quiet time and the kids to just, hang out with friends and make friends and have those memories and have fun. So my first supplement that I always have on hand and have ready, especially because I make my own. So, and having, making my own, like I don't want to be making it when my kid is sick. That's honestly kind of the last thing I want to do. I want to be cuddling with them. I want to do things for them, make them comfortable. I don't want to be in the kitchen creating natural remedies. I will if I have to, but it's much easier to just be ready. So elderberry syrup is hands down my favorite. So in the show notes, I will actually link the blog. All these supplements, I will go check out the blog and you can actually see which exact ones that I get. But the elderberry syrup, I make my own. So I linked up the recipe too. And elderberry syrup has been studied to be very beneficial for fighting against the flu. And it's really, really easy and cheap to make your own. So I use it a lot when they're sick or if I know they've been around someone sick, and it's just a really awesome, gentle immune booster. And so I sometimes will do it throughout the week a couple of times just because, but I really start to use it hardcore when I know he's around someone who's sick or he is sick. So elderberry syrup, really awesome. And berries are super cheap on Amazon. My other vitamin that I love is vitamin D. And vitamin D is known to help stimulate the immune system by the activity of macrophages. And those are simply just white blood cells that respond to the infection and they get rid of all the dead cells, and they're kind of like the sweeper. They keep your body really healthy. So, our society spends a lot more time inside than outside to get the sun. So the sun, that ultraviolet rays from the sun helps create that vitamin D in our body. So in school, they're mostly inside, which is unfortunate. And then if you think about it, if you are more north, so we're in Texas, we're from Florida, so we're kind of, used to the South being really sunny. But if the further north you are from the equator, you usually will have more cold winters, so you're really more indoors. The sun, it's more cloudy per se, so you don't get as much sun as we do in the South. So having the supplement is really, really important if you are further up north. So vitamin D is vital, especially in the winter. I love to use the drops that go under your tongue so they can be absorbed sublingually, and then I swallow it too. But that's one of my favorites. Again, it's linked up into the blog. You can go check it out. My third one that I always have for the kids and for us is probiotics, because the majority of our immune system's in our gut. So it's a must to nourish our good bacteria in our gut to provide good more bacteria if we need it, or to even feed them. So since fermented foods really aren't popular in our diets anymore, taking a probiotic is really ideal. And it's just one of those supplements that we take every day, hands down. The fourth one is a kid's multi. And so I know that our diet is pretty diverse and we eat really good wholesome foods. And that's always the best place to get, our vitamins and minerals. But a multivitamin can help fill in the gaps if you have a picky eater. And then my fifth one that I love to use is omegas. Okay, so omega is a huge part of creating like a healthy and strong cell membrane. And they also make up a big part of our immune system. Omega-3s, omega-6, all the omegas influence behavior on all of our immune cells, from the T cells, B cells, macrophages, neutrophils. And since our standard American diet is really, really high in omega-6 and not enough in omega-3, that can actually be pretty inflammatory to our body. But we can easily balance our omega ratios with a good omega EPA DHA supplement. And outside of just immunity, EPA and DHA can also help kids perform their best. So omega-3 actually influences a brain wave called P300, and that can benefit their schooling by making a faster transmission of information, and it can help improve their memory and learning. So that's really, really cool to have. And I'm still in the market and still searching for a good omega. I know that there's a lot on the internet that you can buy, but I'm either stuck with there's really not enough omega. It's not the correct omega. There's a lot of omegas that like omegas from chia seeds, ALA. That's only like a part of an omega-3. It's really hard for the human body to convert the ALA form to the EPA and DHA. So it's really vital to look for the EPA and DHA part, not just the ALA omega. So I'm not happy with that, or they have other ingredients that are just artificial colors, or they just, I don't know, there's very junky ingredients in a lot of the omegas, and I think I understand it because they want it to be really palatable for kids, because, fish oil never really tastes good, but I'm still looking for one, and I'll update you guys when I find one that we really, really love. We've tried a few, but nothing that I'm crazy about. And my sixth supplement to always have to help boost the immune system is echinacea extract. So echinacea has been known always to boost the immune system. And in big medical journals like The Lancet shows that echinacea can decrease the chance of getting a cold, or actually just reduce the duration of the symptoms of a cold. So I make my own echinacea extract with vegetable glycerin, but you can also just buy some on Amazon. To make it really, really simple, but I like getting hands-on with my herbs, so I like making it myself. But so those are mainly the supplements that we use and always have on hand: elderberry syrup, vitamin D, probiotics, a kid's multi, omega, and echinacea. And so going back to lunch ideas, because I know you guys had lots of questions on how to create healthy lunches. I'm just going to stick with some of the basics. Go check out the blog if you want to see my specific lunches that I've packed. But these are just some of the basics I always go with. I always pack a fruit, and my go-tos are like bananas and apples, grapes, berries, all the berries, strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, all this stuff. Pears, oranges, peaches, and like a real peach, not like the syrupy one. Those are like a lot of the fruits I stick with. I always try and pack a veggie outside of like, the normal raw carrots, celery, a sliced cucumber. Those are pretty basic. I mostly like to use leftover cooked veggies because my kids are more fans of cooked veggies, roasted veggies, than raw veggies. So roasted broccoli, roasted Brussels sprouts. I love to roast them in bacon fat. That's always delicious. Side salad. That's just simply a mix of romaine and spinach, snap peas, green beans. Honestly, pretty much anything we had the night before for dinner, it's probably will be in the lunchbox tomorrow. Proteins are definitely a must-have for each kiddo because that is actually what's going to help satiate the kids, especially the fats too. So my favorites are hard-boiled eggs, grass-fed hot dogs, lunch meat wraps, so like an Applegate pepperoni and grass-fed cheese. Leftover dinner, that can literally be chicken, meatballs, meatloafs, anything like that. And I'll occasionally use like a nut butter for protein. So I will do, a slice of Canyon Bakehouse gluten-free bread with almond butter and jelly. I'll do those occasionally, but not very often. Sometimes I'll also do a yogurt parfait for my kiddos. So I use like a goat milk yogurt, and I'll do like a little dash of applesauce and pomegranate seeds and chia seeds and cacao nibs. We do the squeezable yogurts too, the organic ones, but they love doing like the big mix of yogurts, and I can add a lot of things in that are really good for them, like cacao nibs and chia seeds and all that stuff. And then, nuts and seeds and dried fruit we do. We do chips. We love Jackson's Honest Chips. Anything that's made in coconut oil or avocado oil, and the occasional Pyro Booty that we do too, but mostly sticking with chips that are made in coconut oil, avocado oil, plantain chips, things like that. And then for drinks, I just pack water. My kids are just running around playing on the playground. They need the water, and I'm not a juice person because of the high amounts of sugar and the high pasteurization that happens, so that kind of kills all the good nutrients anyway. So I'm not a juice person, and I just pack water in like a little glass container or like a stainless steel container. So that's kind of the basics that I do. I try not to make it hard, and when I cook dinner the night before, I kind of keep in mind, okay, I should probably have a couple of leftovers for his lunch tomorrow. So it really just makes it easier. And then, as I'm packing away leftovers after dinner, I'll just pack his lunchbox and stick it in the fridge. So you don't have to make it hard. It's actually really simple. You just kind of have to think ahead, and you got this. You got this, Mom. So that's all I had for you for today. I hope you got some really good tips on whether it's making school lunches or just boosting your kids' immune system and being ready for those colds and flus, because they are unfortunately hard to avoid in school, but you can really help your child just stay healthy throughout the school year. All right, I'll see you guys next week. The contents of this podcast are for educational purposes only. This information is not intended to replace a one-on-one relationship with a qualified healthcare professional, and it is not intended for medical advice. This is the sharing of knowledge and information from education, research, and experience. I am not a registered dietitian or physician. I encourage you to make your own healthcare decisions based on your research and partnership with a healthcare professional. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next week.